So you've seen that both this and in here, this also throws an exception, both this line as well as this line. This line, we cannot parse this input because it's not a number. And in here, I at some point will be equal to 0. Now, these, they throw exceptions. Now, an exception is an event which occurs during the execution of a program that disrupts the normal flow of the program instruction. So the application is running in here, and then all of a sudden it crashes. So that is an exception. Now in Java, we have a couple of ways that we can tackle this. So the first one is, so in here, what I want to do is I'm going to comment this line in here just for a second. Just like that. And what I want to show you is how we're going to basically try this. And if there is an exception, we want to catch that exception. So if I run this once more, have a look. So we have a number format exception. So I want you to remember this number format exception. So if we don't want our application to exit with a code 1, i.e. we want to basically handle this case right here, so we are anticipating this, we can use the try and catch block. So try goes like this. So we say try, and inside you put anything that might throw an exception. So in our case, this might throw an exception. So this here throws an exception as it stands. So we want to try this, and let's just move the system.out.println inside. So we're going to try that. If this fails, we want to catch the exception. Now in here, what exception that we want to catch? So remember remember this number format exception. So this is exactly what we want to catch. So here, if I say number format exception, so I've just pasted that. And usually the naming convention for these in here, to give it a name, you just say E. So you could just basically say foo. So in here, foo or bar, like that. Or you could just say anything, right? But the naming convention is just E for exception. Now here, I'm going to put curly brackets. And in here, I'm going to basically perform whatever action that I need when this line here fails. So in this case, I'm just going to say south and then failed to parse and then 1x. Now let's try and run this and see what happens. So if I run this, now check this out. So you can see that we have no longer the error, and instead we have failed to parse 1x, and more importantly, have a look, exit code and then 0. So it means that we successfully handled this part in here. So this failed. It doesn't carry on the execution of the program. So here you see that it doesn't print number. So as soon as it throws the exception, it basically falls under the catch block. Now let's just try and pass 1, for example. Run it, and you can see that now we have 1. So basically we've parsed. So here we've parsed 1, and then we printed the number, and the application continued, and there is nothing wrong with our application. So therefore this line in here doesn't get executed. So this is the main idea with try and catch. So we try a piece of code. If it fails, we catch the exception. If it fails, we catch the exception. This is all for now. Catch me on the next one.